temperatures you're expected to see today.
More news every morning.
This is a major development.
This is a very, very serious situation.
The show everyone is talking about. CBS This Morning.
Live. This is CBS 47 Action News Jax at noon. Local coverage you can count on.
Right now, neighbors on the north side are mourning the loss of a woman who died during a house fire. Pictures from JFRD showing nothing left of this mobile home on Blyer Street, which is off Lanning Road. This noon, the fire marshal working to learn what sparked that fire. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Phil Amato.
And I'm Dawn Lopez. Now, so far, we do know from fire inspectors that the cause isn't suspicious. This is video of that home from Sky Action News Jax. Our cameras recorded this. It's just burned to the ground. JFRD says that when the fire started at this home Tuesday, it quickly grew out of control. Right now, of course, you can see it's daylight, and it's showing us just how badly burned that home is. Witnesses told Action News Jax that the woman who died in the fire initially made it out of the burning home, but then went back, according to neighbors, trying to save the family's dog. They say that the woman is in her 50s. JFRD says that her body was found inside this house in the ruins here. At this time, no foul play is suspected. The state fire marshal will be working to determine the cause of the fire and is expected to return there to the scene today and tomorrow. Neighbors say that the woman loved her dog, and today, of course, they're praying for her family. Right now in Clay County, there's an alert out to find this missing teen. The sheriff's office is asking for help finding Alexis Suttle is her name. She's from Keystone Heights and was last seen on Reed Drive. Now, I wanted to know if there were any other pictures of Alexis, because this is a Snapchat filter. The sheriff's office says that it's the only one provided, and they're working to get a new picture right now. But if you recognize her, call the sheriff's office, and the number is here on your screen. On Action News Jax this morning, we tracked rain moving in and out of parts of the viewing area. Right now, First Alert Doppler HD is showing the only rain in the area at this hour is south of Stark.
All right, First Alert meteorologist Corey Simon now joins us, but it looks like, Corey, we're going to have rain for at least part of the afternoon, right?
All the ingredients are still there. We're just waiting for the rain to actually get going here in Duval. First Alert Doppler HD, all the color, there it is. It's still well to the south as Duval County. Well, we're doing okay right now, mostly dry. Those clouds are building, though, on the First Alert Skycam network. This is our downtown tower camera. You can kind of see the puffy white there. Whenever the bottom of the cloud, it really starts to get dark, that's a sign to you that rain may not be far away. But like we said, the only rain here, it is south of Camp Blanding, east of Keystone Heights. Headed for Piccolata, 1245, Bakersville at 1258. This may make it to the St. Johns River and St. Johns County if it hangs together. Temperatures hot in the meantime, where the rain is not, in the low 90s, feeling like around 100 degrees. But I'm going to time out those storms hour by hour coming up in the First Alert forecast.
See you in a bit, Corey. Action News Jax has learned that a 5-year-old from Yulee who drowned at a water park will be laid to rest on Friday. We told you Monday that Kaylin Lawson drowned in a wave pool in Daytona Beach. His mom says that the trip was an early birthday present for him. There's a GoFundMe right now to help pay for his funeral cost. At last check, the family has raised more than $5,000. You can find a link on how you can help if you'd like at actionnewsjax.com.
Mayport's newest Littoral combat ship is finally here. The USS Billings is the 6th ship of its kind to call Mayport home. New at noon, Action News Jax Elizabeth Pace found out how this ship is bringing a new type of warfare to the Navy.
USS Billings pulled into Mayport at about 10:30 this morning. Now, what's different about this ship is that two different crews are assigned to it. Right now, the blue crew is on the ship, but then in a few months, it'll switch out to this gold crew. This ship has been on the water for about 2 months now. It's the Navy's newest littoral combat ship, named after Billings, Montana. It's the 6th littoral combat ship here at Naval Station Mayport. The sailors told me it's used for surface and mine warfare, which means they'll search for mines or any other threats in the water. The commanding officer told me it's also the fastest warfare ship in the Navy and brings in a new type of weaponry to the fleet.
And the things that we can do working with other forces, these ships are a little bit different than your mine countermeasure ships due to the fact that we have a little bit more weapons on board than they do.
This is the 21st ship here at Naval Station Mayport, and Ahead at 5 will explain what kind of resources it brings to this Navy base. Reporting in Mayport, Elizabeth Pace, CBS 47, Action News Jax.
Well, Naval Station Mayport is growing. The USS Billings is the 6th littoral combat ship now at the base. Eventually, 14 littoral combat ships will be based out of Mayport.
President Trump is visiting Dayton, Ohio and El Paso, Texas today. The two communities are in mourning following weekend mass shootings. Total 31 people were killed in those combined attacks. Action News Jax Jacqueline Fell reports from our Washington bureau, where the call to pass new gun laws is again in the spotlight.
As the president was leaving the White House, he said he's talking with congressional leaders and considering tougher background checks for gun buyers.
We're going to come up with something that's going to be really very good, beyond anything that's been done so far.
The president claims that there is, quote, very strong political appetite in Congress for bipartisan legislation that would address background checks or some restrictions for gun users. Well, we reported in February when the U.S. House passed a bill that would require federal background checks for all firearm sales and transfers, including those sold online or at gun shows. Lawmakers also passed a bill that would allow an expanded 10-day review for gun purchases. 6 months later, the Senate hasn't done anything with these bills. The president added he sees no political appetite for banning assault rifles. Some gun control advocates have called for a ban after last weekend's mass shootings. In Washington, Jacqueline Fell, CBS 47, Action News Jax.
Now, this is a short sign of apparent fear because of this weekend's shootings, which is still fresh in the minds of people all over the country. So last night, the sounds of motorcycles backfiring caused this panic in Times Square. Several people were hurt in a stampede.
This noon stocks are giving back Tuesday's gains as the volatile week on Wall Street continues. After the Dow plummeted nearly 600 points earlier today, the blue chip average is now down 357 points. Investors continue to worry about an escalating trade war with China. President Trump tweeted this morning that China is not a problem and for the Fed to cut rates bigger and faster. A former Jacksonville City Councilwoman has 30 days to prepare for her upcoming fraud case. On Tuesday, a judge delayed Katrina Brown's trial. It was supposed to start on the 19th, but Brown has been given the extra time because she's chosen to represent herself. Her new trial will start September 23rd.
A 77-year-old man is recovering this noon from driving his car into the St. Johns River. This is video from a high-rise in San Marcos showing the scene on Museum Circle Drive. So we're going to give you a closer look here. Firefighters say that a man drove his car into the water from the boat ramp. He was eventually rescued and rushed to a local hospital where he's recovering now.
This season, no more backpacks or large purses will be allowed at some St. Johns County sporting events. 3 high schools are requiring plastic bags in their stadiums. This includes Bartram, Creekside, and Ponte Vedra high schools.
Hundreds, thousands of local kids are headed back to the classroom. Students in Pierce and Brantley County, they went back to school just this morning, so they're probably having lunch right about now. Glenn County goes back to school tomorrow and on Monday. Students in 8 local counties here in Florida hit the books. So that includes you, Duval County and St. John's. There is a push right now to take away your right to elect Jacksonville school leaders and give the power to the mayor and the city council. A state lawmaker who also used to be a member of the Duval County School Board proposed this bill. If passed, it would make Duval County the only school district in Florida to not elect its own school board.
It's just very concerning to me that we are at a place in our history here in Duval County where we are looking at taking away voters' rights.
The bill would have to be approved by the state before it goes into effect.
Some of Duval County's 129,000 students will have new STEM programs this year. $125,000 was spread across 8 local schools to improve their STEM education. They will give kids more access to interactive learning, activities, and more hands-on projects. Action News Jax has everything you need to know about getting back to school on actionnewsjax.com. On our website, you'll find local lunch menus, school supply lists, and start times. Just click Back to School under the News tab.
Tonight, St. Augustine City Commissioners will discuss potential changes to Airbnbs and short-term rentals. Proposed changes could limit how many people and how many cars can stay at one property at one time. City leaders say that when they have too many people staying in certain areas, there's an overflow of cars, solid waste, and even lots of noise. So far, no vote on any change has been discussed.
Some good news for neighbors in Clay County. The Jacksonville Transportation Authority is adding a new flex route service in your area. The Magenta Line will connect neighbors from Keystone Heights to Gainesville. Routes will run in the morning and afternoon. They'll take off from the Keystone Heights Senior Center. Standard fares are $1 per trip. That new route starts on Monday.
From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima, timing out more afternoon showers and storms. And when that heat really cranks up, that's next in the First Alert 7-day forecast.
Also coming up next is a simple change in diet that could dramatically affect your health. Next at noon, the protein switch that could lower a woman's breast cancer risk.
And it's more than 300 tons of recycling materials processed locally each day, but not all of it is usable. Next at noon, the problem keeping precious materials from being processed.
What to watch, brought to you by Ashley Home Store.
It's a lot of junk. More than 300 tons of materials go through the Republic Services recycling plant every day, but nearly a quarter of everything you see here, well, can't be recycled there. Action News Jack's Alicia Tarancon spent the morning with a tour to take a look at the challenges of recycling.
Cardboard boxes are recyclable, but not everything inside them is. And that's what these guys are doing right here. They're sorting all the labeling and bubble wrap that a lot of consumers may forget to take out of these boxes. Republic Services recycles more than 300 tons of materials each day. It's something that 16-year-old Natalie Decker is seeing for the first time, along with her Ponte Vedra High School classmates at the recycling plant. At a young age, Natalie tells us her mother pushed her family to recycle.
No plastic water bottles, you don't need that spoon, you don't need that straw, and I did not understand it at all. I thought it was so annoying for the longest time, and it was so hard for me to wrap my head around.
Still, Republic Services says, with the tons of materials they get each day, between 25 to 30% of it can't be recycled because of single-stream recycling, where different types of materials are placed in a single bin.
Just because we don't recycle it doesn't mean it's not recyclable. Things like grocery bags, bring that back to your grocery store. Clothing. There's bins at every school that you can take clothing to be recycled.
Republic Services negotiates its rates with the city to process recycled material.
I started learning and learning and learning, and and now I'm the one that's telling my friends, like, you cannot use that, put that back, you don't need that. And now they're annoyed with me, and it's a whole cycle.
And coming up at 5, Republic Services tells us what one of the most dangerous items is that ends up over here at the recycling plant. Reporting at Republic Services, Alicia Tarancon, CBS 47, Action News Jax.
We're going to hate to see it go. Native Sun Natural Food Markets is closing for good after more than 20 years serving the community. The owners of the organic and natural grocery store chain broke the news to their employees yesterday morning. They say it's because of the dramatic increase in competition. No word yet on an exact date for closure, but all 3 Jacksonville locations will be gone.
Yeah, we'll miss them. Another successful launch in the books for SpaceX. Last night, Action News Jax showed you the liftoff from Cape Canaveral live at 7 o'clock.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition, liftoff.
There it goes. The Falcon 9 carried a satellite to increase internet connectivity to Africa. And look at this. Shortly after that takeoff, the booster rocket was caught by an offshore boat right there. Isn't that kind of a giant catcher's mitt, right? In a net? Yeah, it'll be used again in another mission.
Cool. There's a new push in St. Augustine Beach to keep cigarettes off the sand. Monday night, the city passed an ordinance to place cigarette-specific canisters along the beach to reduce litter. Beaches Go Green, a local organization that helps keep our beaches clean, says that one canister can reduce up to 9% of litter on our beaches. In St. Augustine, the Gallimore Community Pool will reopen today. The pool closed last week for repairs after equipment failure. To accommodate for the days the pool was closed for repairs, the summer season will be extended to October 6th. Something fun before the kids go to school.
You bet. And the Jaguars are in Baltimore preparing for their first preseason game against the Ravens. We're getting you ready for the big game, too, on Fox 30 at 7 o'clock tomorrow night with countdown to kickoff. That's followed by game coverage at 7:30.
Now certified Jacksonville's most accurate weather forecast. Action News Jax First Alert Weather.
Oh boy, it's hot. Feels like 99 here in Jacksonville. Areas inland 100 plus. There is McClenny and Kingsland reading 101. And then check out Gainesville. Feels like 82 with some rain cooled air. A lot more of the rain and clouds well down to the south and the southwest. But we have this southwesterly flow. It is a moisture laden wind, and it's going to help heat us up a degree or 2 as well before the rain starts to move in. But as for now, the rain, all of it is south of I-10, and in some cases south of State Road 16, well south of I-10. Lightning really picking up here just on the outskirts of Keystone Heights. This storm, it is headed for Baywood by 1224. There's Barden, 1237, and then Palatka K. Larkin Airport there just before 1 p.m. If this storm hangs together, it is going to make it to the St. Johns River, the northern edge of Palatka, potentially East Palatka as well, before it tracks into western St. Johns County. Here's St. Augustine on the First Alert Skycam Network. it doesn't look like rain, does it? Mostly sunny, a few clouds out there, 84 degrees, west-northwest winds at 9 miles per hour. The view a little different on our downtown tower camera. This is those clouds that are building, and they're going to keep doing that over at least the next 1 to 2 hours before we get some thunderstorms going. On the hour-by-hour forecast, you see that at 2 p.m., widely scattered thunderstorms across most of the area, and some of those are going to linger into the evening commute. It's all dependent on how the sea breezes interact with rain that's out there now, outflow boundaries that form from the storms now, but Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish will be in tracking those storms on CBS 47 at 5 p.m. Some of the rain, it may linger into this evening and tonight, but I expect after sunset, most of the rain, it is going to start going away. But they are going to bring that threat for heavy rain, frequent lightning, and a couple of these storms may try to bring some gusty winds. We're always tracking the tropics here in the First Alert Weather Center. You see all the color around Florida, including part of the Atlantic Ocean. As we get a broader view here, there are still these areas of color, some tropical waves. There are no areas of concern that we're watching and no development expected over the next 5 days. A few thunderstorms for Thursday, but the bigger story, I think, to wind down the work week, the heat. Look at these temperatures, 95 degrees. It's going to feel like between around 100 and 105 every afternoon, and that includes your weekend, which is always in view. A few storms Saturday. That rain threat picks up a little bit by the time we reach the second half of the weekend, with more afternoon storms to kick off next week and back to school for Northeast Florida. You can download the Action News Jax First Alert Weather app. You can take the most accurate local forecast everywhere you go.
Thanks, Corey. It's a simple change in your diet that could dramatically affect your health. Coming up next at noon, the protein switch that could help lower a woman's breast cancer risk. So what's for lunch? Dinner? Maybe some chicken? A new study suggests that eating poultry instead of red meat may reduce our breast cancer risk. Researchers studied 42,000 women over 7 years and found those who ate the most red meat had a 23% greater chance of developing cancer. The women who ate the most poultry had a 15% lower risk. The study is published in the International Journal of Cancer. Today is the first Wednesday of the month, which means it's Art Walk Night. And the theme is This month is Back to School Smarts with a focus on the importance of art and education. So we're told that there'll be activities at the main library, live bands playing in the heart of downtown Jacksonville. It all starts at 5.
And speaking of school, this Friday morning, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office will hold a back to school supply drive at the Palencia Starbucks. You're encouraged to bring some backpacks, pencils, paper, anything that a student may need for a successful year. If so, a donation will then get you a free cup of coffee. Good trade-off, right? This Friday, Action News Jack's helping your family get ready to go back to school. We show you how local school districts are making classrooms safer and highlight the wonderful work of local teachers. Tune in this Friday night at 8 on CBS 47 for Action News Jack's Family Focus presents Back to School.
The tragedy of 9/11 led an engineer to a new calling, educating local kids. Coming up new at 5:30 tonight, I'll introduce you to St. Johns County's Teacher of the Year and how he discovered his passion.
And some more afternoon storms today. We're waiting on the sea breeze, outflow boundaries, all that stuff. They will be heavy where they fall, so expecting some frequent lightning too. Hot tomorrow, 95.
Oh boy, getting up there. All right, dodge those showers this afternoon, everyone. Have a good day.
Steamy. YNR is coming up next.
right now?
And it's on the airwaves as well, but I can email.
It's on Facebook?